are a couple of reasons why you might want to read this book. One, as the name implies, it's the story of the struggle to free the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's the first time that the story has been told in the round, the complete details in one place. And it's an exciting story. We were in the center of it. The scrolls were kept secret for 40 years by a small group who had been assigned to publish them, and they hadn't. In the end, the scrolls were freed by underground photographs that we managed to get. The Israel Antiquities Authority said they were stolen. The final chapter was a lawsuit against me, and we lost. It cost us over $100,000. So that was the kind of the bittersweet ending, but everybody's friendly now, and we get along with everyone, except the guy who sued me, Hershel Shanks. He's still bitter. A second reason to read this book is because it's the inside story of the so-called forgery trial of the century that's going on in Jerusalem right now. It's in its 5th year, if you can believe that. It involves most prominently the ossuary or bone box, which is inscribed James, the son of Joseph, the brother of Jesus. And of course, James is identified as the brother of Jesus in the New Testament. Another important item that's accused of being a forgery in this trial is an ivory pomegranate that's inscribed. If it's authentic, it's the only relic to have survived in Solomon's temple. Another reason that some people want to read this book is that many people are curious as to the guy behind these struggles. That's me. I founded the Biblical Archaeology Review 35 years ago, and now we have 250,000 readers. It has become an icon, the main channel through which the public gets its news and information and understanding of biblical archaeology. So how did this Harvard lawyer who never took a course in the Bible, never took a course in archaeology, and knew nothing about publishing, how did he get into this business? And how did he make a success of it? How did this guy from a small town in western Pennsylvania, whose father sold shoes for a living, and whose family never went to college, how did he get to Harvard in the first place? Well, that's also part of the story. The character of the magazine is also the character of this kid from Sharon, Pennsylvania. I hope you'll read it, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Thank you very much. Oh, I think what I'd like to do is give you a little taste of the book. There's a 2-page preface that I'd like to read. Is it all right if I do that? I am sitting in an unfamiliar courtroom in Jerusalem. In general, I'm accustomed to courtrooms. For years, I represented the United States of America in courtrooms all over the country when I was a lawyer with the Department of Justice. I know how to question my witnesses on direct and how to examine the other guy's witnesses on cross. But this is different. I am here not as a lawyer representing someone. I am the defendant. The testimony is in Hebrew, which I do not understand. My daughter, who is fluent in Hebrew, sits beside me to provide the gist of the testimony against me. The plaintiff is a distinguished Israeli scholar named Hershel Shanks, a professor at Ben-Gurion University of the Negev in Beersheba. I had published, without permission, Professor Kimron's 1-page Hebrew reconstruction of a fragmentary Dead Sea Scroll known as MMT, in an effort to break the scroll monopoly. Although the reconstruction had circulated widely in samizdat copies, It had not been officially published by Kim Rohn and Harvard professor John Strugnell, to whom it had been officially assigned. Moreover, I had not mentioned Kim Rohn's name in my publication. Kim Rohn was anonymous. I listened as Kim Rohn testifies. For 11 consecutive years, he had worked on the reconstruction I had published. Quote, "During the years I worked on it, I did almost no other work," end quote. During this time, he says, quote, "His whole family lived very frugally. When my wife complained, I would tell her, 'Look, this is our life. We will achieve fame,'" end quote. When I published his reconstruction, he was, quote, "shocked. I can't describe the feeling. It's as if someone came and took away the thing I had made by force, telling me, 'Go away, this belongs to me,'" end quote. I watched the judge and see those telltale half expressions that revealed her sympathy for the plaintiff, as she indeed turned out to have, ultimately awarding 100,000 shekels in damages, about $40,000. She was not alone in her sympathies. Both the Israeli press and academic community considered me a thief. The unbreakable academic convention was that a scholar assigned the publication of an ancient text had exclusive right to it until it was published, even if that took more than a generation. As I sit in the courtroom, listening to Hebrew testimony I cannot understand, my mind wanders. I am no longer the Harvard-trained lawyer I'm back in the little town in western Pennsylvania where I grew up, the son of parents who had never been to college, the father who sold shoes for a living, the kid who always seemed to be getting into trouble. How did I get here?